Welcome back, guys. Once again, sights and sounds from the beautiful Miss Universe, Nigeria. Now, you're just in time for our interview segment where we have a very special guest. Like we told you before the break, he's not a stranger to the house. He's already like family to us. And today we're talking all about the smartness, or rather, smartness, the new currency of excellence. Today, to lead us to conversations is Dr. Silvanus Ogbo. He's a leadership coach, a pastor, and a transformational speaker known for his practical teachings and insights into purpose, personal growth, and high performance. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Okay, how are you?
Good to have you.
Good to have you on the
Good to be
show.
back.
You dressed like an angel today.
Always an angel in my heart.
Welcome back. Good to have you in the studio.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just like we mentioned earlier on, our conversation centers around smartness, right? The new currency for excellence. I mean, what are your thoughts, your opening thoughts about this?
You know, we are in a world that is moving so fast. I call it, thinking on your toes. You don't have time to react. Before you react, something else has come up. So you need more than the natural, traditional intelligence to be able to cope with the speed and the frequency at which things are happening to us. Smartness.
Okay, so how is smartness different from traditional intelligence?
Intelligence is about your knowledge, about your IQ, about your, getting your way. But smartness goes beyond that. Smartness talks about your being aware of your emotional stability. Because if you know your own emotion, you know your weakness, you know your strength, you will know how to relate. So smartness, in summary, helps you to develop yourself first as a leader before you can lead.
Okay.
First as a leader before you
Can lead.
So I imagine the word smartness itself, they're acronyms, right? Each word or each letter stands for something.
Yeah.
So what does the S stand for?
Okay. S is for strategic thinking. M is for mindfulness.
Okay.
A is for adaptability. R is for resourcefulness. T is for timeliness. Okay? Then the N is negotiation skills.
Yes, very important in life.
E is for emotional intelligence. The first S is self-awareness. Then the last S is for speed and accuracy. If you are not accurate in whatever you are running and whatever you are hitting, your speed is irrelevant. So it's speed and accuracy.
So how can you be more, you listed out what all these acronyms mean. How can people be more strategic in their day-to-day life?
What is strategic thinking? Thinking of tomorrow, today. Planning of tomorrow, today. My friend and a good motivator says that the best way to know the future is to predict it or create it. So strategic thinking helps you to create the future you want to see tomorrow, today. We talk about delay gratuity. You must not eat everything. Think of tomorrow.
Yeah.
Think of tomorrow in your thinking, in your action. Because your today is your yesterday's tomorrow. Your tomorrow will be your today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. That's the way it works. So you must be thinking ahead.
Let me ask you this. You mentioned mindfulness. Why is mindfulness so important in today's world?
You need to be mindful of your own action, your words, and your impact. First, as a person, and how it impacts on others. Do you understand? Because life is relational.
Yeah.
So your time, your action, your impact, whatever you do affects somebody else.
Okay.
So you must be mindful of what you are, what you are doing, what you are saying. For instance, I come in here and, good morning, Kay. You understand? That's some question, some respect. But if I come in and maybe change it the other way and say, oh boy, how you doing? You will take it differently. So I must be mindful of my own emotion to be able to control and relate with others.
Interesting. But let's also talk about that adaptability and how one can stay consistent with one's core values.
They mean two different things, although we mix them together. Consistency is staying on course. Keep your focus. Showing up on a daily basis. You understand? Adaptability on the other side is while you are showing up, life is not a straight line. It throws balls and cups at you. So you must be flexible. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So while you want to be consistent in achieving your goal, you must be sensitive to the ecosystem.
Okay.
And adapt when there is a need for it. So you cannot say, oh, this is my goal, I've set up to achieve this one, it must be this way. No. Midway, the
You have to learn to
ecosystem might
change.
come in. Life gives you lemon, turn it to lemonade.
Okay, you also mentioned R for resourcefulness. So in today's world, we find that a lot of people struggle with starting less with more, you know?
Yeah.
So how can Nigerians, you know, do something resourceful with their time and also do less with more or more with less or whatever the case is?
You know, in life, we've been brought up with a culture that says the world is a place of scarcity. You will never have enough.
Yeah.
But what is resourcefulness? Resourcefulness is making use of what you have
At the moment.
at the moment to get what you need, what you want. So you may not always have enough. So your ability to manage and create what you actually need from what you have is what is resourcefulness. You know, you will never have all the money you need, but with the little you have, you will never have more than 24 hours. But how resourceful are you? Ability to maximize, get more from everything at your disposal. It's a hallmark of leadership.
Interesting. We'll still move on to negotiation. How can people build their negotiation skills, both in their personal and in their professional life?
You know, we got negotiation skills very wrong. You don't need to, you are not born with it. Some may have it, but it's something that is learnable. You can learn, you can study, you can adapt. You see, we all grew up with negotiation talking about competing. But the new era now is, even in your negotiation, it is collaboration. It's a win-win situation, not a win-lose situation. So, because if you keep winning me, I'm your customer and come in and you cut, short, put it this way, you do shortcuts to, outsmart me. And I get back home, I don't get value for what I paid for. I will begrudge you. Yeah. So negotiation is win-win. But you must also think that the fact that when you are negotiating, it is about collaboration, not competition. Negotiating is also about you, winning the fight without fighting. Negotiation is about influence, ability to convince, ability to, have your way without throwing punches.
Yeah.
That is negotiation skills.
I like how you said that.
Let's talk about emotional intelligence, right? So emotional intelligence can be described in many ways. And we would like you to, first highlight what it is for us, and then also what makes emotional intelligence or emotionally intelligent people different from other people.
Okay. Emotional intelligence, in summary, is you knowing yourself. You know your weakness, you know your strength, you know your emotion, you know what triggers you. Because emotions are a function of triggers. So for each of the emotions, whether you are sad, whether you are happy, whether you are energized or something, what triggers it? So if you study yourself and you know yourself, like I said, the key thing in emotional intelligence is leading yourself. You know how to control yourself to be able to lead others. So, the way to go about it is having known your own weakness and the strength, you must also think of empathy.
Okay.
Because you are not a good leader if you are not empathic.
Okay.
You understand? You must think about capacity to listen. Because life does not start and end with you. There are others. So every other person has an opinion. So you must learn to listen and factor in their own opinion. You understand?
Yeah.
Criticism is not a bad thing because it may be a feedback for you to look others. So a leader who is emotionally intelligent, will build in skills to listen. And you listen to hear other perception, because you need to carry them along. You are a manager because you are able to get results through people. You are not the one who is going to go to the field there and do these things out. So you must also be empathic and have their feeling. Get their own input into it so that you can utilize it.
Interesting. Let's talk about speed. How can people, young people generally, apply speed with accuracy without compromising quality?
Yeah, you see, in businesses, there's what we call operational OPEX, operational efficiency. What is your operational efficiency? You have a purpose. What is the reason? You must seek clarity on that.
Yeah.
Seek clarity on what your purpose is. Then,
sorry to cut you short, sir. We hear that thing all the time. Growing up, purpose. And you say, okay, even in church, they say you have to have a purpose. But what if you don't know what your purpose is? How do you even know what your purpose is? I'll give you a context.
yes.
In a religious settings, when they say your purpose, people assume that their purpose is maybe to minister. Maybe your purpose is to follow your father's footsteps as an engineer. So what exactly is this purpose?
See, take K for instance. God created you with some talents. He created you with a level of emotional stability or instability, as the case may be. You were wired for a certain thing. You see, I agree with you, because if you go into a purpose, you will bring in what is occupation. What are you doing? But generally, it takes me back to what we call the principle of ikigai. Ikigai is a two-word from, a Japanese word, iki, which is life. The guy is purpose. In other words, what were you sent in this world to do? You have been constructed and given an assignment. The assignment you can identify by your flares, by your interest, by your passion. Do you understand? So you have those things there. Then you also define purpose in relationship to the environment you have found yourself. I tell people, in purpose, nothing. Kayode was not created for himself. Kayode was created to be used for something. I give you an instance, a house. You have a house. Have you noticed that if people don't dwell in that house for a couple of years, it starts dilapidating? Yeah. In other words, if you don't know the purpose or the use of that house, what comes in is abuse. That is dilapidation.
Yes.
So purpose is personal. Somebody from an outside and a mentor can help you do is to look at you and see the trace that follows you, and he will guide you on that line.
Okay.
And as you go on, it begins to manifest.
Right.
I always tell people pro and vision. There is a vision somewhere God has sent you to go and do. You understand? So all your life will just, as it were, tailor towards it. That's how purpose works.
That's really for more conversations around purpose and everything like that. But for this context of just to wrap up the conversation, which of these 9 things that you've broken down can we apply to our day-to-day life now? Because it might seem very complex to someone who doesn't understand how to go about it. Which one do you think is the most important one that we can apply on a day-to-day basis?
If you ask me, I'll say resourcefulness.
Okay.
Because we are in a world where we will never. Life does not give you what you want. You understand? So we are constantly under pressure to achieve. So resourcefulness comes in as most critical in the sense that you have to, as a person, look at the ecosystem, at your surrounding, and ask yourself, what can I get? How can I maximize what I have now to get what I need? So resourcefulness is number 1 to me.
All right, because of our time, I think we should just, talk about the final charge. What would you want to leave people with from today's word or today's lessons?
Yeah, guys, it's immaterial how your first half has ended in 2024. I know you set up your goals. We want to achieve this. You want to do this. You want to do this. Life is not about efforts, but about results. And the way to get results is channel your energy in a resourceful manner to where you have the highest clarity, the highest chances of achievement, and the highest energy level. What am I saying? Wake up, look, forget about January to June. Now that you are in July, what you need to do now is that whatever you got wrong in January to July, you have an opportunity now if you can apply this principle of smartness. Life is not about hard work, but being smart. And like I have defined smartness, it means that you have to be strategic in your thinking, you have to be mindful, you have to be adaptable. So you could have designed that target and it's not going the same way. Review it and keep moving on. Success is not without failure, but failure is actually part of success.
All right.
So learn that and wake up, put on your thinking cap. A successful year in 2025.
Thank you so much, Doctor. This is always an insightful conversation with you.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And on that note, I think we need to share our word of the day. Tolu, you give us a...
All right, so our word of the day is from Olivia Newton-John. Once you face your fear, nothing is ever as hard as you think. So once you face your fear, nothing is difficult anymore. So just face your fear and start.
All right, folks. Well, that's our show. And tell you what, you can catch a rerun of the show at any point in time. You can catch it later tonight. And also you can watch on YouTube as well. And more importantly, we'd love for you to share with your friends and relatives and family and other people. We're back here same time tomorrow to give you another amazing dose of a Tuesday edition for Silverbird today.
Yeah, so have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.